Have you ever been in a position where a toxic friend or family member asks you to borrow money, and knowing this person's history, you kind of get the feeling that they might either be lying about the situation or maybe don't fully intend to pay you back, or simply you might just not be able to afford to help out in this in the moment, right? Regardless of that, you'd feel too guilty saying no and can't afford to have this person be upset at you. So you say yes anyway, even if it puts you in a difficult position, right? So for years, I didn't understand why it was so hard for me to say no in situations like that. And all my life, I've been labeled as the good kid in the family, the responsible one, and it felt good to have my parents recognize me for that and let me know that they were proud of me um, because of the way I would act, right? And this was all fine until it felt like I was reliant on that feeling of approval, right, from my parents or those around me, and I needed people to be happy with my actions, even if that meant kind of going against how I really felt, or not truly being myself, or speaking up if I was uncomfortable, right? So today, I would like to tell you a couple stories about what led me to stop being a people pleaser. I'd like to go over a few things, starting with one, what it means to be a people pleaser, two, what led me to pick up those habits, three, the setbacks I experienced due to putting others' needs before my own, and finally, four, the happiness that comes with choosing yourself first. So, starting with one, what it means to be a people pleaser. The definition of people pleaser in the Cambridge Dictionary is someone who cares a lot about whether other people like them and always wants others to approve of their actions. And for me, I would say it's more someone who's um, tends to focus on saying the right thing in a situation as opposed to the honest one. You kind of say what you think the other person wants to hear, as opposed to how you might really feel. And this can also kind of be a way to avoid confrontation. Maybe you can't handle someone feeling upset at you, and so you just kind of put up or just kind of go along, with what they like, right? So brings me to the second point, what led me to pick up those habits. Um, and one simply is just it feels good to be recognized for doing well or doing the right thing. And um, I might have kind of become conditioned to seeing that as the way to make people like me. If I can just kind of go along with what other people like, I'll always kind of have people around me that approve of me, and it'll make me feel good, right? And another situation was kind of during my teenage years, we started having a hard time at home, and um, had a couple of issues in my family with some people, ended up going to prison, and it was just a tough situation, right? And it felt like something I couldn't really speak to anyone about. I didn't want my friends at school to notice or my friends' parents. I just didn't feel like it's something I could speak on, right? So because of that, I kind of um, put on this mask of making it look like everything was always good. I'm always in a good mood. I'm the kind of person that nothing phases me, and I'm always happy to help. And that made it so I didn't have to speak about the difficult times, because um, it wouldn't kind of by always being in a good mood, someone wouldn't think to ask like, let's find out if anything's going wrong or something like that. It made it so I don't have to speak about the hard times, right? So, um, and then this brings me to my third point, the setbacks that I experienced due to putting others' needs before my own. Right, the biggest setback was an emotional one. This kind of feeling of constantly carrying this baggage of worrying about what everyone else in the room is thinking. Is everyone else, are they happy with me? Are they happy in general? It felt like it's my responsibility to make sure everyone else is good, and that's a lot to carry, and it really drained me, right? And made it so it was difficult to focus on my own things. I was worried about what other people thought too much. Um, Another issue was that I often put myself in bad financial positions, because I was scared to say no, because I couldn't afford to have people be upset at me, even if it was, someone that I know hadn't been treating me well or been kind to me. Still, I couldn't handle that, So um, this, led to me being in a lot of toxic friendships and relationships and putting up with things that people shouldn't put up with, just because I was afraid of confrontation and afraid of speaking my mind, right? So eventually, I was able to overcome this and one situation at a time. I was able to kind of either put my foot down or let someone know, like, that's not something I'm comfortable with, and doing so without having to fully explain or having to over explain. I didn't, especially if it's somebody who had been rude to me. I don't have to feel like, oh, I told this person no, now I have to kind of apologize and say it in a kind way. And that really kind of was very freeing. And since I've been able to do that, I feel more confident in going down my own path and focusing on what I've got going on, and just feel a lot happier in general, right? So yeah, that's the story about how I've learned to stop being a people pleaser, and hopefully that's something that it can help some of you if might be dealing with the same issues and feelings. It's okay to choose yourself first, right? Thank you.